What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's edition of Everyday Discipline, where we decode, deconstruct, and reverse engineer self-discipline for you to get whatever it is you want in your life. My name is Brent Kokel. I'm your host. As always, I love it when you guys are here on the show with me. So one of the big topics that I've been talking about with my friends lately is food prep, because we get into a lot of conversations around body. It's something I've been working on for a really, really long time. And it was never something that I was trying to do actively, but it turned out to be inspirational for the folks that are at least in my circles. And those are the circles in my real life, by the way, not my circles on social media, because I deleted all social media. I deleted social media, I think about 5 months ago now. I took Instagram off my phone. I took Facebook off my phone. Still have YouTube on my phone, though I don't really view that as social media. That's the primary place that I go about communicating people outside of this podcast. And actually, you might be watching this podcast on YouTube right now. But in any event, I took all the social media off. So when I talk about in my circles, I mean the people that are actually in my life, physically there. I know the people. And so, like I said, I never really set out to do it this way, but my body turned into something that was aspirational for the people that are in my circles. And that doesn't mean that it's fantastic or anything like that. It just means that there are people who are probably more fit than me, and there are people who are less fit than me. There's a lot of people that are less fit than me than there are that are more fit. So in any event, we got into this conversation around food prep. And this is something that I do every Sunday. So I will take about an hour and a half on Sunday, and I will prepare everything that I need for the week. Because I bring 3 different meals into work with me, because I eat 5 times a day. And 3 of those happen to be while I'm here at work. And because of that, I have a lot of food that needs to be prepped on Sundays, because during the week I don't always have a lot of time. I can't do it. I'm running out of the house, and it's just what needs to happen in order for me to maintain the way I eat. Because I've got this rule that I don't eat anything throughout the day that didn't come in my lunchbox, because I bring a lunch and it's intentional and it's about the body that I want to have and all that. And so one of the things that I'll do is I'll grill chicken. And last Sunday when I was prepping, my sister called after I put chicken on the grill. So my grill is obviously outside at my house, and I put chicken thighs on the grill, and my sister calls, and I hadn't spoken with her a while, and we just got to chatting, and I was walking around the house doing a couple other things at the same time, folding laundry, dealing with kids stuff, whatever it was. And next thing I know, I'd been talking to her for 35 minutes, and I go back outside, and as you can imagine, chicken was pretty fucking black. It was really overcooked. As you would imagine anything would be when you leave it on a grill on high for 35 minutes, no matter what it is. Even chicken thighs that they can withstand some overcooking, these things were just scorched. And so that didn't really work. So what I try to do is I try to salvage this burned chicken. And I tell you what, there's no amount of barbecue sauce that could save this stuff throughout the week. So I had to re-prep and all that. So the lesson inside of this episode, guys, and I'm getting to it quick today because I think that the meat of this one comes on the back half of it. The lesson here is that when you wait too long, you've ruined a good thing. All right, when you wait too long, you have ruined a good thing. This is a message about procrastination, which really isn't something that I suffer from, but the other side of it is definitely true. I tend to act too fast. I don't procrastinate enough, meaning that I don't think through things enough, and I just take the actions and I go balls to the wall. And sometimes it works out. A majority of the time it works out, but a lot of times it doesn't. And that causes me a lot of trouble and a lot of pain as a result of that. But for most people, they struggle with actually taking the action. And because of that, I'm assuming that when you're listening to this episode, procrastination is something that you've struggled with in the past, and it's something that you want to get over. And I know that because you're human. While I don't struggle with procrastination often, I can't say that it's never the case. It's just that it's not very often that I do struggle with that. So when we've got this, really the question I always think about is, what are you waiting for? Why would you wait? You know you've got something that you want to do and you aren't doing in your life right now. And I'm speaking to you, person with your earbuds in right now, listening to it either that way or through your car radio or watching this on YouTube. You have something in your life that you know you need to do, but for whatever reason, you are not taking your action that you know that you need to take. Now, this is probably based on some sort of story. It's based on some sort of story. And let's say that this is a business thing that you know you need to do. You've got this idea and you want to take it out into the marketplace, whether that's a side hustle that's going to eventually replace your full-time income, and now you are going to have yourself like your own boss. Like that's what you really want. And you've had this idea for a while, and I know how this goes where you're like, I don't want to tell anybody about my idea because they might take it. You do this. And I remember my wife telling me this when I've had ideas like, don't tell anybody about your idea. They're going to take it. And I'm like, no, they won't, because that means they'll have to take action and they're just going to procrastinate on it. And I'm already going to have been taking action for like a year and a half before they even get to it. So forget about it. Like, I'm not worried about this. So anyway, you've got an idea. Your story right now is that the idea is not ready yet. The product's not ready yet. The idea is not fully fleshed out. We don't have a logo. What will we do? That's not a good story. When you say that it's not ready, that means that you think you get a vote on if the product's any good, on if the product works. My friend, you get no vote on that. You get 0 votes on if the product is good. You can have an opinion, but you can't have a vote. And here's the difference, and here's how you know. You don't buy your own stuff. Like, you're not going to be a consumer of your own stuff. I don't care if you're making a physical product. I don't care if you are making a digital product. I don't care if it's a service or an experience or whatever it is you're building. You don't get to vote. The marketplace votes. The prospects that are viewing your product, they're the ones that vote. So you don't get to say that it's not ready yet, because what you think is ready might be somebody else's like way past ready. It's way past ready. The marketplace votes. You don't get to vote. But there might also be the story of you not being ready, like you personally not being ready to take whatever step it is, right? That might be a business thing where I'm not ready to take the leap away from my 9-to-5 into this thing. I'm not ready to really take my health and fitness seriously. I'm not ready to really address the issues in my relationship versus just burying my head in the sand and pretending everything's okay when you spit out a Christmas card that makes it look like one big happy family. You say, I'm not ready. And I hear this, and I feel this. I feel this from you. But bullshit, I'm not ready. When are you ever truly ready? When are you ever truly ready for this whole thing? What I think about when I do this is when I went skydiving when I was in college, and there were 24 of us going skydiving, and this was my freshman year of college. I went with my fraternity. I was a pledge at the time, and I was the 22nd guy to jump out of this plane. And we did this tandem thing where a guy's strapped to your back. And I forget how high we jumped. I want to say it was like 10,000 feet, 12,000 feet, something like that. I forget what it was. You were free falling for a little bit. And I remember that we'd go up in this plane, and this plane, it kind of looked like the plane that they had on the movie Major League that the Indians would fly around in, where they were like duct taping the wing before they got on. And you were pretty sure you're gonna have to jump out of it anyway. I think that was part of the strategy. But we do this corkscrew up to whatever altitude we jump from, whether it was 10,000, 12,000, I don't remember. And they strap your, like the instructor straps himself to you with these carabiners to make sure that you don't fall off. And he says, all right, we're going to waddle over to the door, because you're walking 2 people at a time and you're kind of like nut to butt in that thing. And he wants me to put my toes over the edge. And he asked the question, are you ready? And I'm thinking like, no, I'm not ready. But I'm also thinking there's no way in hell that I'm going to be a pledge in this fraternity and not be somebody that actually jumps out of the plane. Plus I was the 22nd guy. Everybody ahead of me, all 21 of them, jumped out of the plane. There was no way I was going to be the guy that was not jumping out of this plane. It was not happening, but I still wasn't ready. Like, when are you ever really ready to do something that scares you? You're not. But of course, in that situation, we jumped out of the plane. I landed just fine. The only actually scary part, by the way, in that whole thing is when the parachute opens, because now you're going slow and you're still like 1,000 feet off the ground. And you look at your shoes in the ground and it's really far down there. So that's the only part that's scary about skydiving, at least in my experience. But you saying that you're not ready, no, man. You're never going to be ready. So you might as well just do it, because nothing is as scary as it seems. We just make it out to be a monster while we're sitting around. But maybe those first 2 stories aren't it. Maybe it's not the story of the product not being ready if it's business, or you not being ready if it's in business or body or balance. Maybe it's a story about pain. You think that it's going to cause you some discomfort if you do it. You think, oh man, this is going to be painful. Specifically like around either business, or it could, well, this actually could be in balance. This could be in body as well. Doesn't really matter the domain. You can say this is going to be painful because in body, this could be physically painful, where you say like, man, I got to wake up early, which means I'm going to be tired all day. Then I'm going to work out, which means I'm going to be physically sore all day. So I am going to have some degree and some measure of pain. I know it's going to cause me discomfort if I do this. Same thing in business, where you might find some like emotional and financial pain if you make the leap from your 9 to 5 and do something for yourself, or you even take a risk inside of a company that you already own. You might find pain in that because you've got to work longer hours, or because you don't know if the marketplace is going to accept it, or whatever, right? You might have pain in that. You might also tell yourself a story about pain in a relationship. I don't want to address the real issues here because of the emotional pain that I know that I'm going to have to go through if we wind up just having an honest conversation. There's pain in all of those things. And you tell yourself the story that I'm not going to act because I know it's going to be painful. This is the primary place in your life that stops you from acting, because as a human being, you want to avoid pain at all costs. You'll look for pleasure any chance you get it. It's why you see so many fast food restaurants when you drive down the street. It's why porn is on demand. It's why there's liquor stores everywhere. It's because we wind up wanting the maximum amount of pleasure with the minimal amount of pain. We get this stuff fast, and we can sedate ourselves from the pain with all the things that I just mentioned. One of the things that people don't think about, though, is that there's pain in inaction. If you don't do something that you know that you need to do, you wind up having pain in the inaction. We're never at a spot where we're just staying put. There's always something coming for us. Either you go to the fight on your terms, or it comes to you on its terms. That's really how it works, no matter what. Especially, like, think about that in health. You either go to the fight and deal with the pain of waking up early, of being sore, of being, name your thing, about working out. That's going to the fight on your terms. Or you sit back in the cut and you're just like, listen, I'm going to let the fight come to me. The fight's coming to you. The fight's coming to you with obesity. The fight's coming to you with hypertension. The fight's coming to you with adult onset diabetes. The fight's coming to you with early death. That's fine. But tell me those things are not more painful than waking up a little bit earlier and maybe being a little bit tired throughout the day. Maybe having your muscles be a little bit sore for a while, but oh, by the way, that goes away the more that you work them. See, it's all these stories, guys. All these things that keep you from acting really are all based on bullshit. The story of not being ready, bullshit. The marketplace votes. The story of you not being ready, bullshit. You're never really ready until you do something. That's how you get ready. The story of pain, it's going to be hurt. It's going to hurt me if I take this action. It hurts more not to take action. So bullshit on that one too. So something inside of you when you're procrastinating is inside of one of those three things. So, excuse me, your job is to find out where. And yes, we are at the part of the episode where you need to figure out for you what this truly means and where you are procrastinating and what's the dominating story that has you not taking the actions that you know you need to take. Now for you, I don't know what the action is that you need to take. It might mean that you need to actually do something inside your business, stop just having the idea and actually do something about it, which by the way, goes for established entrepreneurs just as much as it does people wanting to break out of their 9 to 5s on their own. Because you think that if you're not out in your own business right now, that you're the only one that suffers from a lack of certainty about doing something, you are wrong. Because people who have their own businesses do this shit all the time. So you might have something about that, not like you inside of that, you're procrastinating. You might be procrastinating in body, where, man, I'm not doing everything that I know that I need to do, even if I'm pretty good. I'm not doing everything I know I need to do. Your story's somewhere inside of this. Same thing in relationships. Someplace inside of this, if you're procrastinating on having the hard conversation or just doing the things that you know that have to happen in order for you to level up that relationship, all of these things, wherever that is in your life, it's based on one of these stories. It's not ready. I'm not ready. There's going to be pain in taking this action. Figure out which one it is for you, or might be all three. And if it's all three, then systematically take them down. You got to start analyzing this. Start analyzing this in the next 24 hours after you listen to this episode, because this is going to start to give you the answer for why you're not acting. There is no ultimate cure for procrastination. There is a cure, though, for understanding yourself. And if you understand yourself, you as a person will not procrastinate. There isn't a tactic or a trick around this if you don't understand yourself first. Okay, understand that. Like if you're looking it up and you're trying to find, you're Google searching it or YouTube searching it, how to end procrastination, you end procrastination by examining the root cause of procrastination, not a tactical means to get around it. You've got to find this out. If you don't spend time on yourself, if you don't spend time just journaling about you, if you don't ask yourself questions, and I'm talking about on the daily, you're going to struggle more than those that do. Because once you understand yourself, it will remove the primary obstacle in your life from you getting whatever it is you want. So make sure you spend time on that. All right, guys, that's it. That's the show for the day, everybody. Do me a favor today. Today, what I want you to do is, if you got something out of this episode, if this helped you, if this made you think differently, please share it with somebody that you know needs to hear it. I put this thing out there. The people who get it, get it. The people who don't, don't. But you know people right now that need to hear this message. If this is something where you know somebody who's procrastinating in any of the domains we're talking about, in business and body and balance, share this episode with them so they might be able to get something out of it to help themselves. This isn't about me growing a show. This is about you helping out a buddy that somehow needs to hear whatever message this is. So if you got a buddy like that, please share the show with them. That is it, guys. That's the show for the day. I'm going to do my job and come back next time. I want you to do your job and you come back too.